Dave, I suppose after a few days from the weekend's defeat, you've had more time to reflect. How do you look at the weekend's defeat when you look at the whole league situation as a whole?
No, in terms of reflecting, nothing's changed really in terms of opinion on the game. We've made really poor mistakes that ultimately have cost us a game of football. I've not seen the overall stats from the game, but we could quite easily have scored a whole lot more than we did. Probably could have conceded more than we did. It was that type of game. There's absolutely no reason why it couldn't have been ended 6-6. The thing is, we made, certainly with 3 of the goals, really, really poor errors defensively. And when you do that, it can affect you within the course of 90 minutes, can affect you confidence-wise. And certainly the mistakes we made contributed to the mistakes further down the line. So that's something we need to learn from. In terms of the league and where things stand, I suppose it's a pivotal one in the fact that probably takes away our opportunity of finishing in the top 2, and all of a sudden we're fighting for that 3rd spot.
We look at Saturday, and a lot of people have said that we might have missed, that experience of Gary Liddell. But when you look kind of further up the pitch, the amount of balls that were put in the box by Ferguson and others, did we miss Luke Armstrong just to be there to put a few of them away?
Yeah, I think, listen, you're always going to miss big players, if you like, miss players that have been important for you, and those 2 in particular. Since Luke obviously came in at the sort of turn of the year, it's been great for us, and formed a really good partnership with Oatsy. Like I say, for one reason or another, we've not been able to put those 2 together in either of the last 2 games, and as a result, haven't scored at Bromley, and then I've passed up opportunities, if you like, on Saturday. So yeah, of course, at both ends of the pitch, it's important, but that's the nature of football. You can't look for, like I say, excuses. We'd say that Ben's out and he's not been in the team and is out for the season, has been important to us all the season. That's what happens. With that becomes opportunities for others, and every single one of them will say that they're capable of playing in this team, and should be selected every game. So they've got to take that responsibility on, because they all believe it and back themselves, and try and go and win games. I think, like I say, it's been highlighted, or you look at it, that they are important players for us. We're not, like I say, we're not stupid. Just as Fed's an important player for us, and again, Jamie Sterry's an important player for us. Lewis Cass has been an important player for us. Some people, again, may not see it as such, but the consistency and continuity we've had in terms of being able to select the same players, or quite a similar team over the course of that run, it is highlighted when they're not in the team, rather than, I suppose, when they are in there.
I suppose a positive from Saturday, if you can take any, is Daniel, who came on, looked sharp, looked bright, and got his first goal for Hartlepool as well. I'm sure that gives him lots of confidence.
Yeah, should do, certainly. Again, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, listen, I think it's always a hard one, and again, probably reflecting when you are playing against 10 men, so you just got to, I suppose, be a little bit more judgmental in what changes you make. Without it sounding the wrong way, some will probably say you can't have enough forward players or attacking players on the pitch. We maybe probably did on Saturday, and they maybe got in each other's way a little bit too much. But Danny came on, obviously got his goal. Probably within the course of that spell, could have had 2, 3, 4 quite easily, which is, again, it is a positive. The goal will do him the world of good, just in the fact that it's almost a monkey off your back in terms of you've got one, and it'll be the similar thing for Harvey in terms of his performance. Probably desperate to do well, desperate to score, because centre forwards and forward players are always going to be judged on that. So listen, it'll do him the world of good, and hopefully he can kick on from that.
I can imagine things have probably been a little bit different in the changing rooms after 2 defeats. How much has your team talk really changed in terms of talking to the lads about these last 3 games and mentally, as well as how important physically it is, but mentally trying to keep them motivated, or does that motivation just come itself?
If you need motivating as a footballer this time of the year, then you shouldn't be playing. And if that's the case, then you won't be playing for a long time. Motivation for me comes from within. There are different factors that motivate people. For some, it'll be selfish reasons. For others, it'll be different things. There are so many different motivating factors at this point, but there's nothing better than winning. So that's where my motivation comes from, regardless of what you're doing, whether it be playing in a game on Saturday, or whether it be going out this morning and trying to win a small-sided game, or whatever we might be putting on for them. So listen, they don't need motivating. They don't need telling what the games are. You've got to try and keep it as normal as possible. I think without doubt there'll be players that have played in games that have a certain magnitude. There'll be others that haven't, and there'll be others that haven't, if they haven't played in them for some time. So it's exciting. It's where you want to be. The games that you look forward to, the games that do bring that little bit of nerves, a few little butterflies, some tension, and it's the right tension. It's the right sort of nerves, and the games that, like you say, you have to embrace. And you have to perform, and if you can perform, then certainly moving forward, you've sort of, your future's going to be bright. But what they will do is the games will set you up, and they will be learning experiences. So whether it be from, again, over the course of potentially 3 playoff games, without doubt, from the first one, you'll learn going to the second one, or you'll learn going to the third one. What you want to make sure is you learn in a winning scenario, and give yourself a chance of getting promoted.
How important is it for you that we go into the playoffs with momentum, or do you almost believe the playoffs just brings that own confidence and momentum with it?
Momentum is what it is. Again, you look at, people will say, if you look at top level derby games, form goes out the window. You go into, again, if you're in the playoff positions, the likelihood is you've had a pretty good season, and you know about your team, and you know what their expectations are. So you're going into games against teams that are of a similar level, a similar ability. A lot of games in this league are toss of a coin. So when you add to that I suppose, stigma of a playoff scenario with so much on it, they become even more so a toss of a coin. They'll be normally close, quite sort of edgy, quite nervy affairs that can be decided on a moment of magic, a mistake, a refereeing decision. That's it. So they are the unknown, and regardless of whether you go into them on an unbelievable run of form, or whether you go into them on not a great run. But again, what does a good run entail? Is it what you've done in your last 3 games? Is it what you've done in your last 5 games? What you've done in your last 10 games? You look at stats in lots of different ways. They're unique games, and ultimately the teams that deal with them situations the best, the players that deal with them situations the best, will be the ones that are successful come the end of it.
Aldershot this weekend. We haven't really played them since the beginning of the season. What do you expect from them? A win last night for them as well?
Yeah, again, it's been, like I say, first game of the season, so almost a full season between games. Tough place to go, but like I say again, that we're looking forward to. They're changed in terms of their personnel from last time we played them. I suggest there'll only be a handful of players played in the first game that will start the game at the weekend. But it's about recognising what their strengths are and dealing with them, but also recognising where we can cause them problems and go in there and look to win. That's what we'll do. That's what we do everywhere we go. And like I say, hopefully that'll be the case.
Could you give us an update on team news, any injuries or going into this weekend? Obviously, Gary Liddell coming back from his suspension.
Well, the only one who's a potential doubt is Harvey. He got a bit of a knock against Bromley, funny enough, with a knee issue. Managed to get through the game fine on Saturday. Has had a little flare up, a little response. We'll see how he is. It's a minor one. But aside from that, apart from having to sort of manage load a little bit and leaving players out of certain sessions, we should have everyone to select from, and we'll pick a team that hopefully will go there and win.
Dave, thanks very much.
Cheers, Alex. Thanks, mate.